Hey guys, this is Pastor Jason Marler from Tuckasegee Baptist. At Tuckasegee, we have a vision statement. It says that we believe that we exist to demonstrate God's love in our actions. We do that by loving God completely, ourselves correctly, and others compassionately. And the question comes up for us is how do we live out that vision in these times where we have been called through our government because of the COVID pandemic to socially distance ourselves? I want to start by reminding you that socially distancing ourselves doesn't mean we have to live in isolation, especially in these times. Who's not to say that just for a time like this, we exist? The amount of technology and all the different ways that we have to continue to live out all the things that God has called us to do. When we talk about the things that God's called us to be, when we talk about living out God's love in our actions, we see that at Tuckasegee as the 3 B's. We call them the 3 B's to be. Be in worship, be in community, and be in ministry, be in action. All of those are possible even in socially distancing ourselves. First and foremost, when we talk about being in worship, every Sunday at 9 o'clock, we're going to publish a brand new sermon. We'll be putting these together. It won't be live streamed, but we'll put them right out there for you to watch with your family. Our notes will continue to be posted at Tuckasegee on YouVersion. You can also find them on Facebook and all the other places for social media. We're also going to introduce something called Weekly Worship, where we'll put a video out of part of our worship team singing a song just to give you something to add a little pep in your step maybe that day. We'll also include weekly a time of pastor and prayer that you can get on Facebook Live with me, and we can pray together and talk about some things. It'll be open for everybody there on Facebook. So we know that we can be in worship. Another big part of worship, and a question we get asked a lot, is this idea of giving. Fortunately, we've set up for years now the process of online giving. You can see all those links, even in this video, and ways that you can give. 3 different ways that you can give online, through text, or even putting it through the mail. So we talk about being in worship. Well, how do we live out community? How are we in community during this? Well, remember, social distancing does not mean isolation. We've been blessed with the technology to continue a lot of our groups for them to be able to meet virtually. Our Bible studies, men's groups and women's groups are already talking and discussing about how they will do that. We're providing them with the tools and the training to make sure that they can connect with their groups. Our Bible studies and life groups will continue to meet virtually in those ways. Our kids' ministries will be sending out emails with information and ways that you can worship with your kids and have them and lead them in devotions. Our youth ministry will continue to meet online as well through Instagram Live and Facebook Live and different virtual platforms as well. Community is still going to go on. You can still reach out and call somebody. You can write letters. I know that sounds odd, right? Put it in the mail, deliver it to them, send them text, call and check on your neighbors and your loved ones. We can still continue community. So we know we can continue to be in worship. We know that we can continue to be in community. So how do we be in action? Well, it's simply this, really, right? Loving your neighbors, loving your family, making those choices that protect them as well. Finding and checking out on that person that you know owns a small business that may be going through some hard times, that works in retail or maybe in the restaurant industry and maybe they're suffering. What can you do for your neighbor? If you have 2 toilet papers and your neighbor has none, maybe you need to give them some of that. As Tuckasegee, our ministry is going to continue as well. Through your support and your giving, we will be able to continue to support all of the ministries that we already support. We have put down the notice through elders that we're going to be good stewards of everything that comes in and make sure that we're supporting those ministries, especially during this time when so many of their things are going to be drying up. So we know that we can still be in worship, still be in community, and still be in action, though it may look a little bit different than it did before. And I encourage you to plug into these ways, to not isolate yourself, to take advantage of this time, to spend time with friends and family that are there in your house, to grow in your own spiritual walk, to look and to learn more about God and to worship Him, to be in community and show God's love to your neighbors, and to be in ministry as well. As I get ready to leave you, I want to leave you with these words. It's the words from the prophet Habakkuk. It's his prayer at the end of his letter found in the Old Testament book that bears his name. It says, even though the fig trees have no blossoms and there are no grapes on the vines, even though the olive crop fails and the fields lie empty and barren, even though the flocks die in the fields and the cattle barns are empty, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be joyful in the God of my salvation. The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes me as sure-footed as a deer, able to tread upon the heights. We live in the days of even though. days of uncertainty, but we can put that uncertainty into the hands of a certain God. I'm praying for you and your family. If you have a need or if there's any way we can pray for you, please reach out to us and let us know. Until then, until we meet again, God bless you.